One of the things I'm going to admit, I don't do much for charity. It's not that I'm stingy. It's probably because I'm lazy. But I donate my stuff to the local thrift shop. But the other thing is I don't know where a lot of my money goes to. And this was an organization where it was small and I could track and see where the money was going to. And also, I don't think I would ever make a good foster parent. I have a hard enough time dealing with my own kids, and I understand them. And so I don't think I would do a very good job. But Mountain Circle gave me an opportunity to do something that I'm passionate about, which is actually giving kids a chance, even if it's just an indirect thing that I'm doing. So the Bears Marathon, if you're runners, it's a certified course. You can qualify for Boston while pushing a stroller with your dog. I'd have to run a 3:15 marathon, so my dog and I aren't going to qualify for Boston anytime soon. They also offer a half marathon race and a 10K race, and there's no time limit. So everybody's welcome, even a walker. And it's a small race. There's about 600 runners, 100 of which are designated. You can only get in by being a charity runner. Most of the participants are from the Sacramento-Roseville area. There's several from Reno, Chico, Paradise, and there's really not a lot from the local area. There's probably about 20 people from Plumas County, and most of those are from Quincy. But people come from far away to do this race because of what it stands for. That guy right there drove from Chicago. 2,000 miles he drove to do this race. And he liked the race so much, he did it the next year too. He qualified for Boston in this last year, so he was doing something else to get him ready for Boston. Other people have traveled internationally. They've had people from China, Argentina, Germany, and England. There you go. That guy, Stephen, came from England. He saw this race advertised on a site when he was stationed in Afghanistan with the British Army. There was a glitch, and they weren't actually supposed to advertise, so the race was only up for like a minute and a half, and he saw this race. And he was a product of the British foster care system, and so he signed up for this race. And he came out a week early and volunteered for the entire week to get everything set up and do things for this race. And again, he did it again this year, and he's going to do it again next year. This race is more than just a race for some of us. It's not just a run. It's not just the CIM or running on the Parkway or anything like that. It's a passion. The race, we're kind of a secret club, not so secret club. And there's about 70% of the race are repeat runners. So people just keep doing it over and over again. In reality, the hardest part about the race is finding a place to stay. And they usually sell, it's only 600 runners, and they sell 180 spots, usually the year before the race. So it's pretty popular amongst us that do it. And you never know when you're going to meet them. This weekend, I was at a vintage trailer rally with my parents and ran into two folks who did the race. The aid stations, if you're a runner, well stocked every couple miles, and they're all themed. They have all the foods you can want. There's a Hawaiian themed aid station that gives out pineapple, which is amazing. They also have a car hop aid station. They had one that was dressed like MASH, the TV show, Flintstones, Mardi Gras. They had a roadkill cafe. They had a bunch of kids in formal wear, which was awesome. An 8-year-old in a tuxedo giving you water was pretty cool. But most of the time when I'm running, I was with me and my dog, which is the way I like to run. If you're a runner and you like the crowds like the Chicago or New York or San Francisco Marathon, this isn't the race for you because it's nothing but country. And then, at the end of the race, along the course, you actually have inspirational quotes. They have facts about the Indian Valley, facts about bears. Also, they have facts about people who were in the foster care system, kids. Babe Ruth was in the foster care system. Eddie Murphy spent some time in the foster care system. Muhammad Ali, and a bunch of other people who had been in the foster care system and had made something of themselves. So also, the dogs that run, they get their own bib and they get their own medal. So that's my dog's medal, and that's the year before. And the medals for the humans are nice too. A lot of people who run races like it for the medals, and so there's really good medals. One other thing about the race is, if it's your lifelong goal to, yes.
Do my dogs have to win to get a medal, or do they
No.
pick one?
No, is that they participate, they get a medal. And they don't have to do the marathon, they can do the 10K. 6.2 miles. And if it's your lifelong goal to complete a marathon, but you're worried, like, CIM, you can't do it in 6 hours. There's no time limit at this race. One lady took over 10 hours, and she lost 200 pounds and then she did the marathon. And her son walked with her the whole time. The race directors, Josie, asked me to say, if you do that, start early, let them know you're going to be out there the long time. They're not going to close the course, but they definitely want to, support you. And you don't have to do the marathon. You can do the 10K. A lot of people do that as well. And they'll support you every time. Hold on. Yes. Yeah? I'll get to that. But she asked what the date is. It's going to be August 19th this year, I believe. So while you don't have as many people cheering on the course like you would at most races, anybody that's out there will cheer for you. They're very enthusiastic. And it's not often that the race director will grab your hand and run with you as you cross the finish line. They do that for just about everybody. It's really cool. And then if you've done a race, you're not going to ask for much more than in a swag bag. You're never going to get this much at a race. This is what I got for being a charity runner. That's a non-charity runner. And then this was the pile of stuff between 2 charity runners and a regular runner that we got this year. And this doesn't include our shirt or the jackets that we got for either. The race just brings out the best in people. And I think it's because we all know we're doing something good. We're doing something more than just, running. So the first year I ran the race, I actually beat my best marathon time by 6 minutes. I only ran with my dog for 8 miles. She wasn't trained up for the marathon. The next year, my dog and I ran the entire marathon. And while we didn't win, my dog also holds the marathon record for the course. Last year, we just did the half marathon. I got first in my age group, which is the advantage of turning 40 and it being a really small race. And my dog now holds the half marathon course record for dogs. And even though my dog is awesome, she actually injured herself during the run and didn't let me know until 2 hours later. She torn her pad and was limping, but she's a runner. That's her job. She loves to run, so she just pushed through it. And then more doggy pictures. That was my competition this year for the doggy course record. This year my whole family ran. My wife and my son have done a couple times. My adopted sister came out this time with her family. My 9-year-old, that guy right there, who also shares my enjoyment of yellow running gear, was the youngest runner out on the course. He and this is a race that I was comfortable letting my 9-year-old run by himself. It's out there's I wasn't worried about him getting lost. I wasn't worried about anything bad happening. It was just a nice country run. And he was the youngest runner and got third in his age group too, which is kind of cool. Another reason, if you like biscuits and gravy, Patty's Mountain Thunder Cafe in Quincy is amazing. And that's my daughter from 2 years ago, and she's cute, so I put that picture in there. In the race has been going for 6 years. They've raised over $100,000 now through the race, which is a lot more than they could have ever raised through spaghetti feeds. Last year, they actually raised $50,000. I know that says 45, but that was before they got the sign changed. I'd like to assume that the huge intake of money is because people find out that I'm there, and that's not at all the case. What has helped is that they've now paid for a lot of their race equipment, the cones and the tables and the chairs and stuff, and now more of the money is going to support the foster kids. A large chunk of the money goes to a program called Powder Quest, which takes the foster kids to the mountains and lets them go skiing and snowboarding. The cost runs about $10,000 to $20,000 a year, depending on how many kids go. But as one kid said, it was all he had to worry about that week was making it down the mountain. He just had to snowboard down the mountain. He didn't have to worry about all the other things that he had to worry about for being a foster kid. The program allows kids to escape, allows them to take control of their lives and figure out what's going on, maybe take control of their life. And if they can take control, maybe they can take the next step and go to college. Only 3% of foster kids make it to college. And so if you can get them to focus on it, they can go and do other things. Again, that's one of the reasons why I'm very proud of my niece. She's one of the 3% and one of the smartest people I know, and she went to my alma mater, UC Davis. The money that's not used for the Powder Quest program goes to a 24/7 crisis line that they run for foster families. It's not something that's required by the state, but they do it. They also use it for Christmas gifts, school supplies. Sometimes the kids have nothing but the clothes on their backs, so it can buy clothes for these kids. Because I'm a pretty big supporter of education, this year I helped organize a back-to-school fundraiser, or back-to-school event. So I put the call-out fee on the Facebook group that we're in with a list, and everybody brought stuff. I brought 8 fully loaded backpacks, and when I got there, there was pretty much a giant pallet of school supplies that this small group of people brought in for their foster kids. It's what this race does. The only downside of this race is I always want to do more. And so, the question is, this is just random pictures from the race. What does Mountain Circle need? Well, they can use money. Money's always good. That would go to the Powder Quest, school supplies, clothes for the kids, other things the kids need, back to after school programs, camps, those kind of things. They also said Christmas gifts. If you want to donate Christmas gifts, send unwrapped gifts. And you can, they said teddy bears or school supplies, Legos are always a big hit. And one thing you can do is you can just drop ship it via Amazon to one of their offices, and they'll distribute it to where they want to go. Another thing, you can donate race supplies if you so desire. There is a life flight organization that actually donates a helicopter to the race. Because it's so far away, if something happened, it would take so long for the one ambulance in the area to get there and get them to a hospital. So they have a life flight helicopter. If you want, you can donate the swag for 600 runners. You can donate to the 100 charity runners. You can donate to the winners, the age group winners, food, water, beer, whatever you want to donate. I'm sure they'll take it. Really, what they need is foster families. Josie said that they get 10 calls a day looking for place foster kids, and they don't have room for them, so they have to turn these kids down. And they said they would be more than willing to drive to the Roseville, Sacramento area to give orientations if somebody wanted to be a foster family. And so, the slide doesn't work. There we go. So here's the website for Mountain Circle, mountaincircle.org. If you wanted to donate, there's a big donate button. You can just do it that way. There's also, this is the Bears, Running with the Bears website, runningwiththebears.org. and it has other places that you can check out the race. And then there's just a whole bunch of other stuff. And yeah, is there anybody have any questions or anything about any of it? No? All right.
Thank you, Brian. We really, thank you, Brian, so much for sharing your story. We can obviously tell that this organization holds a special place in your heart. We, the Sacramento AACN chapter, we are so thankful for you for coming out here. We would like to present you with this check for Mountain Circle Family Services for $500.
Thank you.
We know that there's a need. We know that it matters. We know that it's not a lot, but we hope maybe in the future we can partner up with either a charity runners or maybe a backpack fundraiser or something in the future. Maybe we could do some. Absolutely. So thank you again. We really thank you. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.